Man, you can switch it now. What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 47. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and today I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Colonel, we've managed to avoid drowning.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And Brett Murdoch.
What's up, party people?
Joined by many animals tonight.
Yes, I have a menagerie.
You could even call yourself the Beastmaster.
I am the Beastmaster.
All right, we got a lot of shit to cover tonight. A lot of fucking questions. So before that, I want to thank everybody who watched the last episode of Throwdown with Yanya. That's like our biggest episode since the very first one, like 2,600 hits.
That's thank you so much for watching that episode. We had a really good time with Young, talking about Metal Gear, talking about his personal experiences, and I mean, I'd love to have him on again in the future.
Yeah, and shout out to all of our new followers on on YouTube. So this is the magic right here.
Yes. See, now for all you new guys out there, this is what is called Throwdown Your Questions. So any questions that you might have, you can just put them in the comments of YouTube, or you can put it on our site on the Coalition, and we will answer them.
Yes, so you can see we answer all the questions.
Yes.
Oh, man. See, I know I had something else here too. By the way, I just find it funny. So we had this big time guests and stuff, right? That didn't get reflected in the comment section of the site. It was just the same old bullshit.
At least our site, the Coalition, yes. Most of them were, you will see. But here's the question to all you guys who left all those all those questions for which was less than 10% of our last episode. Did you actually like having our special guest Youngya on the show? I mean, and do you want us to do more guests?
Yeah, basically, because we're trying to spice shit up with the Throwdown, and we're trying to get more guests on. But do you guys actually want more guests on? That's
I mean, so for us, it's fun to kind of get a little bit of new blood in here. Have us, kind of react to different opinions and stuff like that. But do you guys actually like the guests? And did you enjoy the last episode and our previous guests that we've had on the show?
Man, we gotta talk about Sony and Microsoft, man. That's
what
we talk about.
It's all about that stuff. But in the end, it's like, hey, you got a little bit of other things going on too. What if we had some heavy duty, somebody from something on there? Would you just be talking about the console war, or would you be talking about the actual guest?
I want to start a site just called PS4 versus Xbox. Call it that. All right.
There was already a site like that. It was called The Lens of Truth.
Man, don't get me started. Anyway, let's jump right into it because we got a lot of shit to cover. Final stage boss, as always. What do you think is the greatest innovation in gaming? Very good question. I like this one. So, Brett, you weren't on the last episode. People miss your voice, so why don't you start us off here? What do you think is the greatest innovation in gaming?
Like on the cusp or period?
Period.
I honestly think it's actually probably both. I'm pretty sure VR.
I knew you were gonna say that shit.
It's kind of the low-hanging fruit, man. There hasn't been any clear key mark, evolutions for gaming since fucking Halo 1. Halo 1 was the first time you really kind of used dual sticks in the modern sense. It was the birth of an entire genre of gaming that we've essentially been rehashing and rehashing and rehashing since then. Aside from that, because that's maybe not a viable answer because it's not technically out yet and it's not technically a thing yet.
By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Torrance Davis. He was in the comments and he said the exact same thing you did. He said VR gaming. He says that's the biggest innovation. So
y'all are a bunch of VR troopers.
Hey, listen, all I gotta say is that's a viable answer as far as I'm concerned. But if you want to give another one, go ahead. But that's a viable answer.
Cool.
I'm gonna stick with that one then.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a good one. I'm gonna go with.
Wait. Hold on for a second. Is that your final answer? Okay, go ahead.
That is my final answer.
I'm gonna go with polygon graphics. That changed everything. That gave us the kind of games we have now. Before that, everything was just sprite-based, which I still personally love. And it's funny how 16-bit games still hold up graphically. The early PS1 Saturn games do not, but that changed the entire game. We got the kind of games that we got now. It opened up the audience for gaming because it made graphics more realistic and stuff. So that's what I think is probably the most innovative thing.
When you say polygons, do you mean 3D rendering and environments?
3D graphics. Yeah, 3D graphics, all the whole shebang. Yeah, everything that came along with it. So that's my answer. Chris, what about you?
It's a tough one because there's been a lot of things. I would just say I'm going to be lame and say wireless controllers because I think that cutting the cord on everything and making everything more mobile has changed the way we game and do things. So I say wireless technology in general, like any type of connectivity that allows you to communicate with a console or system without wires has been fantastic.
And it's also saved people a lot of money too, because remember back in the day, you would actually yank your console out and stuff, you know.
When your friend would like yell in rage and like grab the controller and halfway pull your console off the shelf.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm with that one. Manny.
Digital transactions.
Ooh.
Like, that goes for Steam, that goes for Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Store. That stuff.
The double-edged sword there, though, man. DLC.
Yeah, no, there's the double-edged sword as DLC. But, being able to get the game instantly, it still amazes me. It's like, hey, I didn't have it, now I do.
Awesome.
But I'm still going to continue to buy physical copies of games.
Even though it's kind of pointless nowadays.
Hey, I want my copy.
Not really. I'll agree with Manny because if you get guys like Disney who decide like, hey, we got to protect the Marvel franchise, so you guys can't have these old Marvel games anymore, right? If you didn't buy them, they're gone now. Too late.
Yep. Marvel vs. Capcom is currently MIA.
Uh-oh.
So unless Disney sends the fucking Musketeers to break into my house and steal my Dreamcast copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'm still set.
Yeah, I'm talking about like old school games, obviously, but I'm talking about new school ones. It's like, okay, I buy a disc, but this is just like a transfer method for me to download it into my console. 50 gigs no matter what, So it's like, what's the point of fucking buying this shit on a disc? Stupid, All right, next question. This is a really good one. Remember when a 7 out of 10 was considered a good review score? Now it's considered bad. Why is that? Ooh, boy. Who wants to tackle this one first?
Should we just throw it out there? I mean, the question was blunt enough that the answer could be equally blunt, right?
Go for it, dude.
Because that's not what fucking sells magazines, and that's not what fucking that's not what gets review copies. It's if they told you the real truth, they wouldn't sell any papers. But I hate to sound like I have a tinfoil hat, but that's kind of the way of it, man. Like, you make enemies by giving people bad reviews, and then they don't give you review copies or access into it and that kind of thing. So it's after a while you just see kind of business homogenized. And I don't think it's limited to just the video game industry. I think any aggressive journalistic outlet slowly goes through this. And I think you're seeing it actually not just in game journalism, but outside of game journalism a lot. Actually, a lot more. The cool thing is that gamers are a very vocal bunch that are very protective of their hobby. So there has been several encroachments on gaming that have kind of been staved off. And I'm not even going near the Gamergate thing with that comment. I'm just saying, in terms of getting like Xbox to turn back its policies and things like that, or getting games funded, and where that voice is being amplified, but we are a fucking vocal bunch. So
there's also another thing I want to add to the Metacritic too, because now if you're a game company, you need to have a 80% Metacritic score or 83%, some bullshit like that, in order for your game to sell. And you notice that in the last couple of maybe 5 years, you've seen a lot of games getting 8 and 9s and 10s. It's like that didn't used to happen before.
No, but that's because they're basically shadow boxing or shadow botting. Like, have you ever heard of turking?
No, that sounds very dirty, by the way.
It is kind of dirty actually. Turking is I'm not sure if that's the correct term for it in this context context, but basically what it is if you want your website to pop higher in the Google search results based on popularity, you can hire like a bunch of people or create a bot or write a program to basically go to Google, search for a broad terminology, and then when it finds that terminology, click through onto your web page, and then click through into further pages so it looks to the search engine like you're not actually just going to that site, but you're browsing that site, and then reset the whole thing. Repeat this 10 million times, and Google's going to go, oh man, this is a really popular result. You know, when people search, you know, comic books, for instance, like you could jerry-rig the results so that Tony's comic book collection, even though that's not a store, it's just your personal collection, you know, comes up. So, you know, 5 million people a day are looking up comic books, and they all click through Tony's comic book collection, making it appear to the internet as you are the most popular thing since sliced fucking bread.
Yay.
Therefore, it's very easy to, and fucking the people that do this kind of shit are clever. They know how to jerry-rig a system. So it would be not difficult at all to create bots or create programs that manipulate the Metacritic results, since they're entirely uncurated.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of way to stem that, and that's not necessarily corruption on Metacritic's part, but it would be corruption on people gaming a system.
Yeah, because people are just giving Metacritic too much power. But yeah, and there's the other thing: gamers are also responsible too. Now they're like 7 out of 10. I mean, shit, you hear 9 out of 10. That's horrible. Why didn't it get 10 out of 10? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, Chris, get in here, man. I know you got some thoughts on this.
Well, shit. I think. Well, I agree with Brett. I mean, I don't know what else to really say about it other than looking at how things are scored and rated now. Some of it is kind of dishonest, and some of it is not really earned or based on merits, but based on other factors.
Yeah.
You know, which we could name some. Might involve money.
Yeah, exactly.
Might involve favors. Might involve some bullshit. I don't know, but it's certainly not on merits.
Manny.
I agree. I mean, there's not much I can add to it. Y'all said it all yourselves. It's like there's just some stuff that's just going on, and it's not, you know, and there's more, importance put in onto like stuff like Metacritic and stuff like that, and then making these scores just kind of seem like minuscule. I mean, I remember when you got a 5, and that was like a pretty even, keeled type of game. You don't really see that sort of stuff anymore.
Yeah, 5 is like the shittiest game ever now.
5 out of 10, you know.
Anything under 7 is like, don't even bother. It's like, hold on, if we're gonna take the entire scale, right? A 5 means a regular game. It's average. Like now, average is 7. That's the new average, and 8 to 10. That's the new good. You know,
well,
it's fucking crazy.
That's why you need to actually go off of personalities. Like, Tony's a good example, I guess. You know, we may as well beep our own horn while we're here. Like, Tony's a good example. Tony has an even baseline for all of the games that he reviews. And he'll tell you if a game is shit, and he'll tell you if a game is good. And you can go through his search history or go through his game review history and see that his reviews are all over the fucking place because games are all over the goddamn place. And one of the things I like at least about Steam, and I have to commend them for that, is not only do they have user reviews, but they have the hours logged of the person playing the game and the ability to check their past reviews. So if somebody's like, this game is amazing, 5 stars, and you look and you're like, you've played this game for 2 hours, and you look at their history and you're like, you say this about every fucking game. You just, you pop in, play an hour, and you're like, I'm amazed that the mouse works in this game. Oh, well, on to the next game. Like, it's clearly one of these things that you haven't played or you bought in a bargain bin or something like that. But if I come across somebody who's put 4 hours into a game and written a page and a half long fucking diatribe about why this game is good, where it succeeds and where it fails, I can feel pretty assured about that. And if I don't, then I can check their past reviews, and that gives you a nice baseline to standardize or a context to put these comments in. And I think that's helpful. The problem is, just having a fucking mask that different people can step into and say, I endorse this, or I don't endorse this. Like, it's very difficult because who are you to say, quote unquote, I endorse this? You're just putting on a brand name T-shirt and speaking for a company, and a company is full of individuals with wildly varying opinions, and so that's why I think inherently big sites like IGN or like Kotaku, especially fucking Kotaku. Like, most people can't tell you who their favorite editor is at Kotaku. It's just an amalgamous beast of just info just thrown at them.
It is the entity that is Kotaku. It is not about the individuals of Kotaku.
Hey man, what about Steven Totillo though?
I mean, to be honest, like, is Steven Totillo's voice any different from a lot of the folks that are on there? I mean, not.
Well, he doesn't get me as angry as our favorite Luke Plunkett guy, you know.
But I'm saying, I mean, other than Luke Plunkett being a little bit more angrier than the thing, that all the Kotaku writing tends to be pretty much the same. It seems to, I hate to say it, but it seems to really lack a lot of personality. It's just very dry, and it's,
I would say IGN is a little bit more personality-less than Kotaku. I kind of know, like, if I read I would think, like, okay, I know who's writing. Same with Polygon, I'm like, I know who wrote that, but IGN, I'm like, who wrote this? It's all one amorphous.
I have a feeling that they for them, they are told to write a specific way,
Yeah, the house style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's my point. Any of these people that you named, like, I'll be honest, I don't fucking pay attention enough, and I'm bad enough with names that I don't know who the fuck these people are. I just know that they speak for it. Yeah. Well, no, I don't know who they are. They come in wearing the mask of a brand, give their opinion, and then just fade into the fucking night like Batman. And so their opinions honestly mean very little to me, other than beyond the brand. Whereas individuals like Total Biscuit or Yahtzee will, I know, fucking call out a game for its flaws and then call it absolute shit. So if I hear either one of them say, this is a really good game, you kind of have my attention. And I think that it's very difficult to discern these people because they kind of get lumped in the same category as PewDiePie.
Yeah, PewDiePie.
But it's not the same thing. They're not streamers. They're reviewers. They are video makers. They are critics still. But they let their personality kind of play into it, and that's why it's even as far back as fucking Siskel and Ebert. Like, who Siskel and Ebert were. You didn't know who this week's reviewer in your local fucking Chicago Times paper is. Like, especially if it's a rolling thing where you just put in different people. So you pick it up one day. And you're like, oh, they gave this movie 4 stars. Who? I don't fucking know, just some guy. And then we all sit around and wonder.
It was the newspaper that did it.
Yeah, and then we all sit around and wonder why movies and video games are picking up tweets. Because and the secret to it at the end of the day is because tweets are just a review from some fucking guy, but IGN is just a review from some fucking guy. I don't know who this person is. I have no history with them. I don't know what context they deliver their reviews or their rants in. So I can't really take it as any kind of information like, oh, some guy out there likes this game. Like, that's all it fucking is. And it becomes useless information and a space waster. And then they find a way to package this with cool pictures and screenshots with snarky little comments underneath, and they make a fucking bundle off of nothing. And the thing is, nothing is the safest thing that you can sell somebody. So it's not bad and it's not avoided. And at the end of the day, you have this just weird homogenized machine that's like, I don't know, everything gets like a 7 or a 9.
Yeah,
Why?
also they don't want to offend people either. That's the other problem,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They don't want to offend they
don't want to offend the guys who have ads everywhere too. Let's just be real about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We did the whole podcast on this alone. It's fucking insane. All right, last one from Final Stage Boss. Can quote-unquote hype alone sell the most consoles for 2 years straight? We know what you're really asking here, dude.
We know what you're implying.
By the way, yes, hype can sell a console. Look at the fucking Wii. That was like 3 years straight it was selling, not because of games, but because of hype. However, with the case of PS4, it really is because that's where all the gamers are. Everyone's going to it, and it has that hot mind share. Hey, I want to play a game. What system are you on? I'm on PS4. Okay, I'll buy a PS4 too. It's on that now, and all and now we're seeing all these publishing deals and shit happening. So that it's not really hype with the PS4. It's like you know, we said it a million times. PS4 got in gamers' good graces by not spitting in their faces like Microsoft did.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, "Hey, what do you guys want? We'll give you what you want."
Or not spitting in their faces right away.
I hear Star Trek.
Sorry.
Yeah, not spitting in their face right. Yeah, because Sony's still doing some shady shit, but they're not in your face about it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I want to respond to this appropriately, and that would be something along the lines of, can Hype sell a console for 2 years straight? Hold on. Let me ask my last generation Xbox. What's that? Yes, it can. Hold on. For 5 years, you say? It can do it for 5 years, apparently.
Yes. Yeah, Hype could take shit places, man. Just being honest here, you know. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, like you said, it can't sell systems, but that's not what's happening now. That's not what's happening with PS4. That was the case in the past. I agree. You know, I agree that Xbox had a hype train going on with 360, but in this case now, it's like we said, out of the gate, Microsoft really fucked up, right? And Sony did not. And it's like Nintendo had nothing to offer. Let's be real. We had nothing to offer. Microsoft fucked up, and Sony did not. So people jumped on Sony, and everybody followed that lead because like now all your friends are in there. And guess what? At the end of the day, you want to play with your friends. You want to enjoy the same things they're enjoying. So you're going to adopt the ecosystem that they did, and everybody's going to be on it. So what's selling now? PlayStation. And it just builds off its own momentum. That's not hype. That's just adoption. Yeah, that's an install base, right? Exactly. So that's what's happening right now.
Yep. Could have said it better myself.
How do you think WoW has remained so relevant over the last 10 years? I'm not saying anybody like it's doing well, or I actually don't know. Wait, no, I do know somebody that still plays it. But it's still in the public mind. It is still a thing. Nothing has been able to topple Warcraft despite a slew of better games coming out. I don't care how many of you are angry at me for saying that. I said
it. Hey, man, again, hey, I want to play an MMO. Play Warcraft. Why? Because I'm on it. Because your other friends are on it. It's building off that, you know, and it also, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but Warcraft gives the fans what they want, right?
To a certain extent, yeah. Like they've made it a little overly accessible, so they're appealing to the greater crowd. So you could say they're taking on a little bit of homogenization, but at the end of the day, they're accessible, they're open, and probably you know somebody that already plays it, and that's what's more important. They don't have to be the best game; they just have to be the best game that all of your friends are playing.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. That's your answer right there. Moving on, Damian Percival. Okay, based on the popularity of the EA Access service, do you think Sony made the right decision and passed on it by saying it was not a valuable service to their customers? There's two ways to go about this. On the one hand, it was smart of them because it's like, okay, people are already paying for PS Plus, and you're going to have them pay another $5 for games that are like, there's only 13 games in the vault. You get them late. So on that sense, it's not a good value, so I see where Sony's coming from. On the other hand, you do get free like early access to some games. Like they have the early access weekend. Like for example, for Battlefield Hardline, you could play it like on the weekend before you can actually buy the game, which is cool. And you actually get the entire game installed on your machine, so you can just pick up where you left off. Same thing with Star Wars; they're going to do that too. You can play it on the weekend before it comes out, so that's cool too. But at the same time, with only 13 games total in the vault, it's not really like that big of a deal. Like, he said that the popularity, is it really that popular? I don't really see anybody talking about EA Access like that. So I understand where Sony's coming from. Even the precedent of it is like, okay, on the one hand, it's like, okay, cool. EA Access, you get all the EA games. On the face of it, that's great. But it's like, okay, what if every company does that? Then you have to pay $50 for like five, for like 10 companies basically. So I don't like that.
You have all. It's kind of even happening with a lot of the streaming access stuff. Where it's like, everybody's got their own streaming service. So in the end, you almost wind up paying as much as you do for cable. Once you have all the streaming services, Hulu and all the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Chris, get in here. What do you think?
No, I think they made the right move. I don't think it's worth paying extra on top of what you have to pay for PS Plus to have to pay for EA Access, unless they had an entire library of games available. Like it had a huge library, and it's like we're giving you so much value for this. The value is just not there, at least not yet. I think you wrote an article about PS Now that was like the same thing. It's like, is there value there? Not yet. Maybe there will be when there's a lot available. But like, look at EA Access. Like you said, 13 games in a vault, and I got to pay extra for this. And then if it becomes popular, then everybody's going to do that. You know, Warner Brothers will jump on that, and they'll do the same thing. And then Ubisoft will do that. And then you're paying everybody. Then, like Randy said, you're with the streaming services. It's like, I got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, fucking
the anime one, right?
Funimation, Crunchyroll, and then if Warner Brothers decides to do their own, if Disney follows through and does their own streaming, then you have companies making their own, right? And then it gets crazy. Then you can't get your content in one place, which is dumb and it's fractured. And gaming shouldn't follow that model. Like they should just unify under the consoles like makers umbrella and try to work it out, and then they do whatever they want on the PC. Like they have their shit on PC, like Origin and whatever. Like you could do that, but it's not going to work in the console environment.
Yeah, it sets a bad precedent. You really don't want that. So, you definitely don't want that. Brett, get in here. I know you got some thoughts.
I think it was a huge mistake for Sony to pass up on the EA program. I don't think that anybody's actually been doing it right, and I don't know that the environment is really all honestly ready to receive it. And I only say this as somebody who's got one foot in the PC world and 1 foot in the console world, in that it works in PC. I pay to partake in a early access program with every single game that I play. I buy it just like I do a normal game, and it comes as early access, and it's slowly developed in my library.
Remember, Brett, this isn't a full-on early access. You just get it for 2 days, and that's it.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're bastardizing the concept of early access, and then wondering, like, oh, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Is this going to be successful? Like, it shouldn't be successful, but my fear is that it's going to pull down the whole concept of early access, which is a sound concept along with it.
Manny, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Brett, it was like, also the thing is that you're only paying that bit of money once. For EA Access, you're paying it a subscription service every single month. It's like, you've already paid your early access thing, and then now you get to see the game happen. For EA, it's like, hey, we got these 13 games that you may not like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, they just got Dragon Age Inquisition on there. They just got it.
That's early, I'm sure. But yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, the way that they're going about it is all wrong, and I'm not really surprised that EA took a concept that other people are making work fine and went, how can we milk this for more money and hopefully turn it into a subscription-based thing?
How can we make this seem more EA?
Yeah,
it already is.
Well, the way that they can make it seem more EA is by taking a good concept, deflating it by sucking all the life out of it, and then leaving its deflated corpse there, being like, I don't know what happened. Clearly, this just wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, but you said that it was bad for Sony to pass up on it, because it sounds like you're giving the opposite answer now.
I want Sony to adopt the same early access program that Steam has. Anything short of that, I am not happy with.
Okay, so you are okay with them passing on EA's thing, because they told EA, like, no, we're good, we don't need that on our system. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that concept. I'm not happy with them having pretty much passed on early access in general. Like, I'm not happy that they haven't gotten into an early access thing, but I'm happy that they passed on this opportunity because it was a bastardized version.
Gotcha. All right, so we're pretty much on the same page here. It's like, EA Access, no es bueno.
Yeah, the wording confused me. I'm sorry.
No worries. All right. Yeah, because I was like, hold on, Brett, you're saying something different than what you said before. All right. Next question by Damian. Do you agree with the fact that the Gears of War remake can't go on sale in Japan because they say it's too violent? It's a weird decision, but in Japan, they're not as... It's weird. It's like Japan has really violent shit, but with their video games, they're a little bit more conservative than we are here.
In general, a lot of the Japanese content has gotten very light.
Yeah.
But they're also very strict on time frames of when they can show these certain things. Like you see those super violent shows, those super violent type of shows are usually shown very late at night.
Yeah.
Past prime time. kind of like the time frame that Adult Swim shows stuff.
Mhm.
And also, they're very strict about advertising M for mature, their version of M for mature games on prime time. So a game like Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 5 may not be actually an M-rated game in Japan because
Yeah.
they want to hit the big advertisement framework, which is like prime time and stuff.
Here's my question: was the original Gears of War like censored in Japan? If anybody even bought it.
Most American games are censored with all the blood. They usually turn it green. You've seen it before.
Yeah, that's true. So it probably was then, but so it's not really a matter of agreeing. It's Japan. They're gonna do things differently. That's how it is over there. That's how it is.
That's weird. Don't they have violent games? What about the Berserk game? What about like any of the survival horror games they have in Japan? Those are usually bloody.
That's true. That's a good point.
So what's the difference? How much blood is real?
We're talking about older. The Berserk game in that case is also older game, and it's also it was one of those games that you just got advertised.
Horror games like Resident Evil and stuff. Those are violent as shit.
Again, those games, they usually what they want to do is when a game gets censored in Japan is that they're trying to go for a wider audience rather than just having an M for mature game, because again, they cannot advertise those games on TV.
I don't know. I don't agree with it because also you're not. In Gears of War, you're killing basically monsters. They're not other people. It's not like they're fighting other human beings. I forgot what they're called.
With the locusts.
The locusts and stuff. They're almost aliens. So and they're all sorts of monsters, the brutes and the brumaks and all that stuff. They're not human, So it's kind of a weird.
I mean, if anything, they probably switched it because the blood is like really red or in there, so they probably switched it out. A couple of other things. Maybe the chainsaw to the head.
There's only a couple of things like this up close. Like yes, if you do a melee attack and you chainsaw somebody, you maybe cut them in half. That's like the most violent thing that happens in Gears of War. You use the Hammer of Dawn and somebody explodes. It's like comical, Yeah. It's not like serious. It's not grotesque or anything. And I don't know if I agree with it.
It's kind of silly. Brett, what do you think?
I honestly, I don't know how to put it. There seems to be a weird discrepancy between
Fun.
Sorry,
hey, Mario.
Yeah. There seems to be a weird discrepancy between what Japanese consider offensive or not, whether it's in the form of anime or not. I've even heard, and I'm not entirely sure, so somebody feel free to correct me on this, but aren't there like underage pornography laws not applicable to like anime and stuff, so that they can have really that's why you see like sexualized characters under
because you can't show pubic hair. So who doesn't have pubic hair? Underage girls.
Yeah, but I remember, like, I've seen highly sexualized, like, sub-16-year-old girls, and I'm like, are they really allowed to be, doing that? And they're like, well, they're not real people, so it doesn't fall under their child pornography laws. And I'm like, okay. It seems like a weird distinction, but it would explain also, like, the hyper-realistic video games that are popular now are not the stylized anime that we see the super violence in that comes out of Japan. I mean, you see it in like some horror movies and whatnot too, but for the most part, other than anime, they're a little bit less violent than we are in most aspects, aren't they?
I don't know. I mean, as far as animation goes, they're way more violent. But
but aside from animation.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. Like overall, right? Probably not.
Yeah, but it just seems like animation gets a pass with them, so it doesn't seem really fair for me to compare our hyper-realistic, super violent, Gears of War type video games to their, highly stylized culture.
Hey, Brett, I thought you didn't like Nintendo, man.
Dude, I have the fucking mushroom tattooed on my knuckles.
Don't. But the narrative, though, Brett. The
Oh yeah,
narrative.
can't ruin the narrative.
All right. Let's move on here because again, we got like a million questions tonight. The last one from Damien. What do you think of the statement by Sony that there will be more remakes? That's what people want, dude. Shit.
Yeah.
You know, Sony wants money, right? They're gonna give people what will get them more money. So that's why they said that. Same reason Capcom's doing it. Money. That's what people want.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I mean, we're not saying that people are right, you know.
Yeah.
In the end, you know, there's a lot of things that can kind of be a little bit annoying as far as the general public goes, you know.
Yeah. And I want to say this. Remember, from what I read, 2/3 of the people who own PS4s never owned a PlayStation system. So when they get that Uncharted remaster, that's the first time they're playing that shit. When they get that God of War 3, that's the first time they're playing that shit. So it's a good business move they're doing there. I mean, yeah, for us, it's like, I played this shit already. But for the majority of people, they never played this shit. And they're still getting more and more people. So from a business standpoint, it makes perfect sense. So I don't have a problem with that. If I don't want a remaster, I just don't fucking buy it. Simple as that.
It's not a bad thing as long as they keep giving us new games as well.
Yeah, that's the only problem though. Like first party, lacking, but we're still getting other games, you know. And actually, let me just say this now, a little bit of a side thing. Sony is still getting Sony's getting a lot of first party games this fall. They're just not mega games like a ton of Japanese games coming out. So games are still coming. So I just needed to throw that out there because people are like, Sony has no games. They have plenty of games. You guys don't give a fuck about Persona or Dragon Quest. That's the only thing, you know. But yeah, like I said, if people want remasters, give it to them. But you're right, we do need more like mega games. Like I know we're gonna get them next year, but it's not really a big deal.
We're getting Fallout.
Yeah, so there you go, right? What's the problem then? Let people have their Uncharted, and you can have your Fallout.
Yeah.
You know, that's a question that's related to something else. Anybody else have any thoughts on this before we move on? Because it's pretty straightforward.
No, I'm cool with that. Good.
Yeah, give the people what they want. No problem there. All right, my man Fern Gully always cracks me up on the comment section. This is a fun one. So he goes, in the last co-op, Richard Bailey Jr. Said that this gen, Microsoft and Sony switched places. What's the Throwdown take on his comment? That he's 100% right? We already said at the beginning of the show, they did switch places.
They did switch places.
Only switch places. You know, back before Microsoft was the big dog, what was gaming? 360. That was gaming. What did they do? A shit ton of third-party games. What was Sony doing? They were the smaller dog, and they had all the first-party games. Now, flipped it around completely. So that statement by Richard, completely 100% accurate. Agree with it. Not much more to say about that one either.
Easy.
Yep. Next. Does Sony having less... and I know who this is aimed at, too. Does Sony having less co-op experiences in their exclusives prove a flaw in the hardware? Obviously not, man. It's just how the games are designed. It could probably have every game be co-op. It's just what the developers want. It has nothing to do with hardware, unlike what a specific somebody says every single time.
Well, wait, then wouldn't the argument be that the Xbox has a flaw in its hardware since it can't get co-op into Halo 5?
Oh.
You can't get split screen co-op. Wait, it's ironic because I'm not getting split screen co-op in Halo 5, so I can't play it in the same room with my girlfriend. We'd have to get two Xbox Ones. So by that logic, then is the Xbox flawed?
Good question, Mr. Zink. Why don't you answer that one? And 900p games too. I mean, what's up? Not saying that's a big deal. I'm just saying if we're talking about hardware flaws. Then you got to think about the whole spectrum, not just point out one system. So yeah, where are the co-op games on fucking Xbox? Where's on Halo, which is the master of co-op games? Where's the co-op in that?
Where, yeah, yeah.
Oh man. All right. The last one from Fern Gully. Do you own more exclusives or multiplats? Please explain why. Unless you are a Nintendo guy, you're gonna have more multiplat games. That's just how it is. Come on now. Well, obviously we know who this question is directed at as well. I love how Fern Gully always shits on the other Zink every single time with the questions. But yeah, like seriously, who buys just exclusives? You don't do that. You buy multiplats are like 80% of gaming. Unless you're unless you're a Nintendo fan, you're not buying just exclusive games. You're buying mostly multiplats.
Yeah, no, same here. Most of my games on both systems are multiplats. Like, I have some exclusives. I have my Bloodborne. I have Sunset Overdrive. I have the Halo Master Chief Collection. But look, I have Witcher 3. I have Batman. I have a bunch of other games that are multiplat, like Shadow of Mordor. You know, there's all
Yeah.
Alien Isolation, Evil Within. They're all
Dying
multiplats.
Light,
So,
you know.
Dying Light, yeah, Far Cry. You know, the list goes on and on. But most of my library right now for current gen is multiplat.
Yep, and that's how it was for last gen too. For me, that's just how it is. With despite the fact that Sony had so many first-party games, I was still mostly multi-plat because that's where those were made for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. All right, next, Gory T. How do you feel about the upcoming Destiny expansion? Features and costs $40, but a fair amount of content and changes to their system. If you stop playing Destiny, is it something to make you consider coming back? No, I'm done with Destiny. Don't get me wrong, I like Destiny for what it was, but it just I saw what it was. It was basically just dangling a carrot in front of you the entire time, and you're just trying to get that carrot, but you're not really getting much out of the experience. Don't get me wrong, I know people are still playing it a year later. Half the people on my PlayStation list are just playing Destiny, and I understand why. But for me personally, I'm done with it. I played the Taken King at E3 a little bit. Cool, but it's not enough. Unless they're like, hey guys, we just actually put a story in this game. I don't see myself coming back to Destiny. There's too many games coming out. And come on, it's coming out in September with fucking Metal Gear. You think I'm gonna be playing Destiny? Come on now, guys. So no for me. Brett, I guess I'll go to you because you played Destiny with me for a while too.
I don't fucking care.
I don't care.
I am so like. Destiny was everything that was terrible about Halo, mixed with all the flaws of an MMO from 1997.
Damn.
Damn, that's hateful.
And that's when we get lots of hate from a bunch of Destiny fans.
That's fine. Like I'm sure you have fun doing what you're doing, and more power to you. But Jesus fucking Christ, that game was so. It was so generic, and it was so just by the numbers. Like, it was a perfect introduction to console players for MMOs, and that can only be said because if you were an MMO player, you were immediately like, I know what the fuck they're doing here. I've seen these tricks before. yeah, it'll bleed time out of you, but it doesn't bleed enjoyment out of it. It doesn't work like that.
That's the biggest issue that I had with Destiny. When I played that demo, I saw the writing in the wall, and it was just, to me, it just seemed like a lot of grinding and busy work that really didn't seem to lead anywhere.
Yeah. Well, it leads to more grinding and busy work.
Yeah, it does, it doesn't even have the luxury of even having a little cinematic to kind of help you out. Like, hey, oh, look at that. Great,
nope,
thank you.
None of that. And then obviously, since you're playing with people the entire time, whatever cinemas are there, you never hear because everyone's talking.
Well, not just that, but it was great visual design work. It was lazy story writing and lazy fucking character design work. Like, I'm sorry, you don't just give something 30 million hit points to mitigate its difficulty because I'm level 60 something with fucking awesome super califragilistic weapons.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just make a sliding scale difficulty where, like, I don't know, give him more hit points and make his damage or his attacks do more damage. No shit, Sherlock. How about some new moves? How about some more advanced AI? How about some more of anything? Like, even in the story, like, fucking give me an... You do realize that things respawn, right? Like, you do realize you kill a guy, you walk away, and 5 minutes later he just materializes into somewhere. So maybe instead of breaking the narrative, you make some kind of cool mechanic where when somebody respawns, it looks like a hologram slowly solidifying, and you say they're being beamed down from the fucking mothership.
Yeah.
So every time I see somebody just magically pop back out of the rocks after I cleared someplace 5 minutes ago, I'm not like, well, Jesus, fuck, that's stupid. And it's lazy writing. I'm sorry, like, the game is fun, but it is a parsed down version of everything that was good about Halo with all of its flaws, and then the typical MMO carrot on a string stuck to the end of it. So no, there is not anything you can do. Yeah, no, there's not anything you can do to make me pick up that fucking game again. Because then I'm just going to spend 120 hours to realize, wait, I fucking hate this game for a second time.
Chris, did you ever get around to playing Destiny?
No, I skipped it. I entirely skipped Destiny. I didn't see the value in it, and then when they said, "Oh, we have this like 5-year plan for updates," I'm like, "Well, I'll get back to you in 5 years." And they're all done.
I'll get to you. I'll get to you back to you in 5 years when you actually have a fully completed game, as opposed to releasing portions of the game.
Yeah, and I give a lot of respect to Bungie, and they do design good stuff. But Destiny, I played the demo, and there just wasn't enough there. And when I heard you guys talking about all the grinding and all that stuff, I passed.
Yeah, like I said, Destiny is a good game. It's probably the best controlling first-person shooter out there. But there's not enough. The whole game is basically, built around grinding. It's like, come on, man, I got other shit to do here. There's other games.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It is the original Dragon Ball Z of video games, where there's a core of something good there, and then there's fucking 4 episodes of Gohan saving a village for no fucking reason. It's the Bungie's mantra is just spread it out, just keep spreading it out, just keep spreading it out.
So
and
Brett,
they give us 20% of a game.
So Brett, are you saying that we need Destiny Kai?
Yes, exactly.
Oh man.
Destiny Finaru.
Yeah.
Don't give us Destiny Super though. Oh man.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that even if they condense it down, even if they give us a bunch of new stuff and whatnot, then they're just going to burn you through the whole first half of the game, which is going to essentially be a ghost town because of the way that they released it. Like, there's something to be said for Tony, you remember when we played Dying Light? How a bunch of people, how the game had just come out, and a bunch of people were playing, and it was just absolute havoc, and it was fun. There's something about funneling characters into all being in the same place. And I don't agree with the idea of them 4 years from now putting out a fucking update and being like, oh no, you can still play the whole Destiny experience. Bullshit. You've parsed down the early segments, you've sped up leveling, you've taken the enjoyment out of actually trying to find weapons because nobody's actually my level. The PvP lobbies are dead, and this has just turned into a who's who of fucking frat Call of Duty boys who've been playing this game for 5 fucking years and who are all way better than me. And on top of that, you put a fucking leveling mechanic to help, throw off the whole idea of I'm actually better than, this person at a video game, or they're actually better than me, therefore we run the round. It's one of those like, oh, well, I put 15,000 hours in this game, so I found the super elite orange gun that just shoots you, right through the fucking ear canal. Like, it's everything that is a plague on fucking video games, in my opinion, condensed and pretty much put into an MMO package that they couldn't get you to swallow the monthly subscription pill in, so instead they're going to feed you 40 billion DLCs at $40 fucking a piece.
Yeah, well,
right,
but it's like one super DLC. And here's the thing though, because they already had 2 other DLCs before this. They were like $20 a pop. Then the $40 was like $80 for. Yeah.
Plus the original game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they don't want you to buy it used, so they want you to buy it new. So let's see, what, 60 right there. So we're talking about what, $140 to play Destiny? A pop.
Yeah, it's kind of shady. All right.
Yeah, for each person. And who plays Destiny alone?
Nobody does. But again, despite all this shit we're saying though, Destiny, like I said, half the dudes on my shit are still fucking playing it, and everybody's so excited over Taken King. Even there's like a bunch of guys on the Coalition are still playing the game, so it's popular for it.
Yeah, but now that I'm doing the math, I'm pissed. $140 a person. If us 4 wanted to play together, that would be like almost $600 for 4 people to play a video game together. Like, that makes Magic the Gathering look like fucking nothing. That makes Warhammer look like that. Officially makes that, I'm pretty sure, the most expensive hobby you can do with a group of friends other than going to Vegas and banging strippers.
Yeah. But, man, people are giving a shit on Twitter right now.
I'm sure.
Man. Yeah, he's like, Brett, I got to throw this in there, just a little bomb. What's the story of Ark?
Oh my God! You guys actually want to hear this? This should just turned into fucking Game of Thrones over here.
All right, you know what? Let's not get into that because we have so many questions.
All right, let's keep going.
Hold on to that one for another time.
I will tell you later. I'll make a little podcast about it. We'll put some dramatic music behind it.
Your story of Ark.
Yo, Reggie, this is the guy that told me the whole story of Bloodborne, so don't throw that at Brett. He will tell you the story, man.
He will tell you.
All right, moving on here. Inori, or Apex, million names. All right, this is a fun one. What was your most enjoyable game to play in the previous generation? Something you could always go back to. Manny, why don't you go first?
Oh, all right. Let's see. What's something I could always go back to?
Well, what's your favorite game of last gen first?
I have a lot.
You don't have one?
No, I don't have one. I mean, I would say Uncharted 2. I could say Metal Gear Solid 4. I could say, there's quite a bit of games that I could just continue to go back to. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a complicated situation. But then again, also I don't buy very many games during the year, so. There you go.
Reggie's losing his mind.
Oh,
I love it. All right. Anyway, by the way, I'll show you this after the show. Anyway, Mass Effect 2. That was my favorite game of last gen. That easily. Here's the thing. A little bit of a tangent here. I don't have any games I go back to because I'm always moving forward. I don't go back to play games like that, so I can't answer that second part.
You actually did go back to play Metal Gear Solid 4 when they got the trophy patch.
They had trophies.
You did go back.
Yeah, for like one playthrough. I want to see. I want to go back to a bunch of games, but there's so much more coming out. I can't stop everything just to do that. That's also my little loop of like, hey, that's why I play a remaster because it's still technically new. But even I'm getting away from that now. It's like new shit. Just give me the new shit now. But yeah, Mass Effect 2, my favorite game of last gen by far, easily. Chris, what's your answer?
Let's see. You took Mass Effect 2. I went back for all that DLC. One game I used to go back to a lot was Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
I used to go back and play. I used to like riding around and just doing shit, playing the multiplayer. That's one game I could pop in over and over again, especially with Undead Nightmare. I'd go play the multiplayer on that a lot and go back to it.
I mean, that Chupacabra.
Yeah. I'm riding around on my unicorn in the Old West. It was hilarious. And I guess for some reason, I played Dead Space a lot. Like I would always go back and try to. I almost 100% of Dead Space, except when you play Extreme, it's so fucking hard. That's the last trophy I need. But yeah, that I'll go back to. That and Red Dead Redemption I'll always go back to.
Ooh, we have a question about Red Dead Redemption later. All right, Brett, what about you, man?
Dark Souls.
There you go.
Oh, man, I just hung around in that game PvPing and replaying over and over again for a while.
That's a good answer. That was another one. Demon Souls I would go back to. Actually, I'd go back to that, and there were still people playing.
Yeah, like all the Souls games have had a real active player base. Well, not Dark Souls 2 for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question related to this one, but different. What at this point in time, what is your most preferred game that has been released for the current generation?
Next
Brett,
answer, related but different.
I know. That's why I went to you first. Oh man, this is a tough one for me. I don't know. Batman, I guess, because it's like everything else before that has been like kind of just okay. I'm gonna go with Batman. My answer is gonna change in 2 weeks. By the way, I'm gonna go with Batman.
For me, I'm gonna actually say Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
I was, I had a good time with Bloodborne, and and I just bought it just based off of the content of the game. I was like, hey, that looks cool.
I want to give Victorian,
1800s people, steampunk world versus crazy monsters. Awesome.
Actually, I got something else to say, but I'll wait till Chris.
I wouldn't say Batman because, as far as I'm almost done with Batman. Batman just kind of seems like there's not much you can do to improve on Batman. So I mean, they already did it really well on Arkham City. So I mean, this just kind of seems more par for the course. Just you have a dumbass fucking car.
Damn, you hate that car, man.
I fucking hate that car. It has absolutely no weight to it, and it friggin' bumps around like a goddamn bumper car. You like bumping into walls like boom, 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 boom.
I like having the car. I have one huge complaint. It's like the camera should follow the car when you're going like upside down and stuff. It's odd that the car goes up and like upside down and shit, and the camera stays in the same place, which makes no sense.
I hate the fucking controls of that car because it seems like it's always on ice. I'm like, God damn it, Batman! You're supposed to have the most awesome car ever, but for some reason you have incredibly horrible traction on it.
All right, Chris, what's your answer?
All right, I'll pick. I'll do one per system to make certain people happy. Bloodborne for damn sure. I spent way too much time playing Bloodborne, and it's so goddamn good. I enjoyed it the hell out of it. And I'd say on Xbox right now, I'd say Killer Instinct. I'm enjoying the hell out of that game. I play that game. Yeah, both Chris and I play that game, and we enjoy it. We enjoy the updates. And honestly, a lot of guys have been getting mad that they put a Battletoad in it, and I'm like, this is a game. Like, fighting fans need to chill the fuck out. Like, I know you want your games dark and serious, but this is Monster Mash, the fucking fighting game. Okay,
yeah,
you have a werewolf, a mummy, a skeleton, a dinosaur, a guy on fire, an alien made out of ice, a kung fu master with impossible hair, and a hot chick, and a boxer, right?
Oh,
like, this makes sense.
Did they put the friggin' fire guy in there?
Yeah, Cinder. He's in there. I mean, I love all these characters, but it's like, chill the fuck out. I mean, even Street Fighter has joke characters. If you know how to use them, you could whoop some ass. Like, people are like, oh, where's Hakan in Street Fighter? Yeah, I saw him win one year at EVO, so, like, don't fucking joke around. Like, you can have fun characters, and you can use them to it. So they put Rash in Battletoad, in Killer Instinct. He's the guest character, and he's going to be available for a little while if you had the early access or if you bought Rare Replay. And then he's going to be in the game when Season 3 launches next year. And it's like, so what? He's good. It's fun. Why can't you have some fun? Why guys relax? Anyway, I'll get off that rant and say, yeah, KI, really good.
I'm going to say an honorable mention for 3 of the guys here, including myself, including Brian was here. He agreed too. Shadow of Mordor, for actually introducing a new fucking mechanic to the gaming industry. You know, so there you go. That was a really fun game, man. Everyone has their own story with that game. Good stuff. Also another quick one to Dying Light too, because we had some fun with that, didn't we?
Dying Light, we had a lot of fun, yeah.
Oh man, got your ass to play a first person zombie game.
Yeah, how's that possible? And it did parkour pretty well. So Mirror's Edge. Look at Dying Light. Just saying.
You know it's gonna be like that.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge.
Minus the zombies.
It
looks like you're doing parkour through the Apple Store.
Somebody should do one of those things. You know, like they have those kids that kind of do fucked up things on video. They should just have like a girl dressed up as, or somebody dressed up as Faith, just running through an Apple Store and jumping over the shelves.
Yeah, right. That'd be funny. All right. On the last question. Manny, this one's more for you. Your take on the theory that Big Boss begins to hallucinate Skullface. Is Kojima pulling a Fight Club on us, or is Big Boss accepting his demons and his transformation?
There's a lot of talk about hallucination inside of the new game. I've heard rumors that the more you get injured, the more Big Boss will start to hallucinate. See all kinds of weird, fucked up things. There's a good chance that he might also be hallucinating the guy who looks like Colonel Volgan that Psycho Mantis does. There's also a rumor that he might be also hallucinating Ezekiel. So yeah, I mean there is that one sequence in there that shows like where like Skullface just appears behind Snake. Who knows? I mean, Snake's got a big piece of shrapnel in his head. Why wouldn't he start to hallucinate?
Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah, that's why I went to you, because I knew you'd have the answer, I guess. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see in about.
I'm not against it at all. I mean, to be honest, to change the dynamic of the game, where things that you actually see in the game you probably can't even believe either.
Like Batman.
Yeah.
let's not say too much, but like Batman, it's like, oh, that's not actually happening, is it?
Yeah, there's there's a lot of similarities between Batman and the Metal Gear series.
Metal Gear. All right.
Not only the fact that they were both on GameStop for a good 3 months.
Yeah, that's
literally
true.
go to GameStop and you see both advertisements for both games on there.
Stealth games too, man.
Yep. Batman's not that stealthy.
The stealth mechanics are pretty good though.
Yeah, they're loose enough so where you can, it's not super like heavy duty like in Metal Gear, but yeah, it's definitely well done.
All right, next Himdeel. We haven't had questions from him in a while, so
Or
welcome back, my
Heimdall.
That'd be fun. All right, this is a fun one. Is there a game that was released this year that you played where you wish the game was either shorter or longer?
I'm getting that with Batman.
You wish it was shorter, huh?
Oh.
I wish it was shorter. If you guys have played through Batman, which I know most of you have, there are just these sequences in the game that is just such a fucking time waster. It's like, hey, let's get into this tank and do the same goddamn thing 5 different occasions to spread the game out. Come on, guys, seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, but they gave you the Batmobile like you always wanted.
I didn't. To be honest, I didn't really care if I had a Batmobile or not.
Yeah.
And to me, I get around much faster when I'm gliding around than rocking that stupid bumper car.
Yeah, I don't know. This year, I don't have a game that was like, oh, I wish I was longer. Oh, I wish I was shorter. Last year, though, was the Alien Isolation. It's like, man, this shit needs like 15 hours cut.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100% Alien Isolation, man.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of these game studios are kind of bending to the will of the people out there who get into hissy fits when games aren't certain lengths.
Why is the game only 20 hours?
Why is it only 20 hours? Have you guys looked at the trophy list for some of these fucking games that are supposedly not 20 hours, or 20-hour games? Like, the people barely get past the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so what the fuck are you complaining
You
about?
have the game, and you're telling me only 1% has ever gotten the first trophy in the game? What did you do? Stick the game in and then just pull out and say, I'm good.
Yeah, man, like, seriously, Alien Isolation would have been a fucking masterpiece if it was 15 hours shorter. I mean, it was great, man. Those first, 10 hours, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And then it just drags on. It's like, come on, man, what the fuck? I don't need all this shit.
Yeah, I'm getting that from Batman right now. I kind of want the game to already end already.
As much as the game needs to be shorter, it needs to be better.
Maybe, yeah. It's just some stuff with Batman. It's like, we're really just doing this shit again. Damn, I'm trying to think.
I think it's just a lousy excuse to kind of keep the game to get the game longer, rather than be creative and create something totally new. You have these kind of like, oh, here we go, we're going to the tank scene. You
know what? As much as I loved it, this is a game from last year too. Dragon Age or Dragon Age Inquisition, you could have cut 20, 30 hours out of that. It was ridiculous. It's like,
shut your whore mouth.
And I love that game. I played it twice. 100% of it twice. It's like, the game doesn't need to be 120 hours, guys. Come on. What happened to the 60-hour experience from before? Give me that.
You
too long.
Do everything.
Brett, I have to. This is Tony. I have no choice, man.
Okay, so because you have some weird OCD that you need to do everything in a video game, you want them to cut out half of the optional content so the rest of us can't play it?
Yes.
Yeah, Tony. That's being a bit selfish right there.
No, get the fuck out of here. You said the same thing with Assassin's Creed Revelations, and you're saying that with Batman.
Hey, listen. Well, Assassin's Creed Revelations, there is some shit that needs to be totally cut, and it's like that repetitive bullshit shit that I'm talking about. Like, hey, look, let's go take over this base. No, let's not take over the fucking clone base that we have.
You're telling people that they shouldn't get all that stuff. What if they liked it? I liked it.
No, number one, I'm against repetitive actions, doing the same thing over and over and over again, just for the sake of extending the experience. We are beyond that. This is not like fucking older games. We can stand to do something a little bit different than just putting you in an arena and having you shoot at other fucking tanks.
Yeah, but that's what we're getting now, unfortunately.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm agreeing with Brett on the content needed to be better. Batman was full of these tank battles and races that I think could have been pared down in favor of more Predator missions or more exciting boss fights or more detective work. Like, that's the stuff that I wanted in the Batman game. Like, okay, I don't. This isn't really a spoiler. When you encounter Man-Bat and you have to chase him down.
Yeah.
That was cool. When I have another mine to stop and another 800 tanks showing up to stop me from defusing a mine, that gets old really fast. You know, and it needs to be less of that, but more of something else that was enjoyable.
Or the stupid sneaking mission, tank mission game portions of the game, which are like 2 or 3 of those things.
Yeah, sneaking up on the indestructible tanks, which should have been an option to just use Batman to do some alternative to get whatever he needed out of the tanks. Like you should have been able to do it on foot. It was like, no, you have to use the Batmobile for this. It's like, but that's stupid.
Like even those airships that are flying around with the red lights, you can fly on top of those stupid things without
that's how I took them down. Yeah, I took all of them down like that. I was on the rooftops most of the game anyway, like you were. So that's how I did it. And there should have been an option to do the same thing to those tanks on foot or gliding or something. You know, he has all this tech. He has the Batwing. Like the Batwing would come out. That's not really a spoiler. If he had those remote batteries, he had all this tech he could summon. It's like, why can't he use that for these stupid tanks?
No, it only comes down to using a tank.
And I'm sorry, let's just say it. Like, anybody find it really retarded that Riddler built racetracks? Let's be real.
Yeah. It's like, where do you get the money?
I always ask where he got the amazing amount of money to do these things underneath the city.
Exactly. Bruce Wayne is supposed to be the only rich guy. It's like, I didn't know Riddler had fucking money.
Yeah, he just did it from robbing banks. Ha! Look at this.
Now I'm gonna build racetracks and kill Batman.
Kill Batman.
Anyway, Chris, Chris, so answer for this year.
I would have loved more content in Bloodborne. Like I could play that. Just give me more dungeons, more whatever. Throw shit at me. I would love more of that game. Absolutely. Like I wanted Bloodborne DLC, but my Bloodborne DLC is going to be Dark Souls 3. Less content for sure. Alien Isolation needed to be fucking cut down. That got real repetitive real fast. And that game, like I agree with you, that game, if I think of anything recently, that game needed to be cut down. I was like, Jesus Christ, how many times am I in a locker? How many times is this motherfucker going to come down? How big is the station?
Exactly. And then when the game turned into robot isolation, it's like, no.
Oh, the working shows. Jesus Christ, yeah.
That bullshit. All right, Brett, what's your answer? Shortest, longest game. What was your answer here?
I mean, I think the order would have been longer, and I would have played it.
So that should have been longer.
I agree. Alien Isolation could have been parsed down, just because there was a lot of unnecessary stretching content in there. I don't have a problem with the game being long, as long as it's all good stuff, or if the not so good stuff is optional. So like, I absolutely loved how long Dragon Age was. I can't really say a game other than Alien Isolation that needed to be shorter, other than most of the Assassin's Creed games, because I almost walked away from every single Assassin's Creed game about 2/3 of the way through, had to take a break and come back just because I just got burnt out on them. And I think it's just because each one inevitably hits a lull around that point. You're like, I got other stuff to do. But there's not many games that can actually say, I think this game should have been shorter. If it was good and I could have had more good of it, then fuck yeah, awesome.
All right. Next,
to me, one thing is you should never dread doing something in a game. You should never be like, oh man, I don't want to fucking do this. It kind of defeats the purpose of it.
Yeah,
it's collectibles, and that's why I get so pissed when people are like, well, have you gotten all the trophies? No! I don't want to search around an open world environment for hidden fucking scrolls on the tops of towers. Fuck you.
Like, who put those things there anyway?
The Riddler.
I did, Assassin's Creed, man. I put them there so you could collect them.
Oh,
at least in Black Flag, you had to chase Shanty's, pages on the wall.
That's always fun. All right. Next one. Anyone excited about being able to vote on PS Plus games for future months? Yeah, it's a fucking cool thing, man.
I'm surprised we didn't mention that on one of the past shows because that happened.
Yeah, it did. Well, we've had guests the last couple of weeks, so kind of hard to get in there. But yes, we've had 2 or maybe 3. Shit, we had a lot of fucking guests lately. Anyway,
hey man, this summer's been a little bit sparse, and I definitely think the guests help.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's cool. So far, I mean, the first month you get to vote on some bullshit games. I'm just being honest, but I'm pretty sure you get to vote on some good stuff eventually. People get choices. Choices are good. Nothing against that.
I don't know how you can argue with that. That's pretty much my answer. It's like, why wouldn't you want choice? That's a good thing. Okay, I'm all for that.
Brett, say something.
Sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. What was the question?
The question was, what do you think about PS Plus letting people vote on what games are going to be free?
That's right. Fucking awesome, man. Like that's amazing. I'm actually pretty sick of getting being like, what's on PS Plus this month? Oh, fuck that.
Yes. All right. And the last question, we'll go through this quick. I guess Himdale hasn't heard us in a while. What are your thoughts on the power of the cloud Crackdown 3? We talked about it. I'm skeptical about it. The idea is cool. I want to see if that shit will work. Because remember, they already said, if you're not connected online, limited destructible environments. Limited. So what if you're playing this shit and your connection gets cut off? That's it. So... Does
that mean that building just forms back up again?
Yeah, just forms back up. It's like Inception, it moves.
Like a dream. I don't know. Like, I'm going to reserve judgment because I was immediately skeptical when I heard that shit. Like, I had the same reaction. I was just sitting there like, okay, really? But I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to get Crackdown 3. I was excited to hear about it. I was excited to see it, and I want it. But the power of the cloud stuff, I'll reserve judgment. I'll see when that shit happens.
Yeah, exactly. And, Brett, we already know how you feel.
Well, yeah, the power of the cloud reaches out with a glowing tendril, plants the seed of a tree, which then grows and blossoms, giving you infinite processing power. I mean, how could you be against that?
It's the greatest thing ever, man.
Yeah.
Remember, infinity is hard to comprehend.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, clearly the limitations of my biological brain cannot process the complexities of the cloud.
None of us can, apparently. We don't understand what the power of the cloud has for gaming. It is the single greatest thing ever. Why
did we not talk about this when we were talking about revolutionary game things? I mean, it's hands down got to be the power of the cloud, right?
Yeah, just ignore what we said at the top of the show. The most innovative thing ever is cloud gaming. That is the future, people. All right, next up, Mr. Torrance Davis.
Mr. Davis.
Mr.
You should totally read his comment with a Russian accent.
Oh, man. All right, this is a fun one. How do you feel about the agenda questions being asked by the resident fanboys here? Is it getting old already, or do you welcome the same question asked a different way every week? So, I'm sorry, but some of this shit is funny. Like last week we had a question like, why don't they have more 900p televisions if we have 900p games? That kind of shit is funny to me. I'm sorry.
I think Torrance Davis is the Lex Luthor of asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, what do you think about it? To me, it's funny. That's why we keep going. It's just funny to me. It's like you guys are so like enamored with this whole console war bullshit, and that's what you want. So that's what we'll give to you. It's just hilarious to me, stoking those flames, man.
Yeah, we've gone everything from saying like attacking it directly to talking about why people actually have the need to defend consoles. We've gone up, down, sideways, back, forward. We've psychologically broken it down. We've economically broken it down. We've sociologically broken it down. I'm curious at this point to see how many other angles we can get. And yeah, I mean, you keep asking them, we'll keep answering them.
And the thing is, I'm curious about how many ways they could ask the question, because the question is always the same.
But they keep finding ways, man. Like, it's kind of amazing.
Exactly. So we want to test you guys. Like, yeah, granted, it gets a little annoying sometimes. We're like, okay, like last week we had a really awesome guest, and no one's talking about the fucking guest.
Yeah, man. Come on, guys.
I'm
You
waiting
guys
for
are
the
literally
preamble.
going. You guys are literally going crazy for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or 25 minutes of the actual show.
And it happens all the time, but at the same time, it's fucking funny to me, you know. And I like instigating shit, so I have no problem with that.
You know, I think I'm waiting for like the preamble, like waiting for the questions to get more sophisticated. Like, you know, in 1940, the average rainfall in the African basin was 40 inches per month. By 1998, that had been reduced to 20 inches per month. How do you feel about the PlayStation 3 shorter battery life in their controllers?
Yeah, it's gonna be this long-winded, really like deep and philosophical thing, but at the core of it, it's just why is PlayStation better than Xbox?
Yeah, they're gonna frame like the console wars in terms of like Israel Palestine.
Yeah. All right. So next question. This is where Torrance starts getting deep on us, man. Okay, you turn on the news to find that the city is in chaos. There's fires, gunshots, and screams everywhere. You can hear it outside. A tall man in a dark suit arrives at your front door. He grants you a superpower to save the city. A, what's your superpower? B, how do you save the city? C, do you kill in order to save lives? Very good question. I like this.
Yeah, this is a great question.
See, guys, that's what a good question sounds like. Not like, hey, which is better?
Don't worry, we got a few more of those coming.
This is a gold star question, and I'd like to hear, like, if this is secretly a question about which console is better, kudos, like, because I can't see it on this one.
Nope, this is a face value right there.
I know, but wouldn't it be great if we all answered and then Torrance went, well, clearly you're all Xbox fans.
Yes. Oh man. Okay, who wants to go first? Because this is a deep one right here.
I got an answer if nobody else does yet.
Go for it, dude.
Okay, my superpower would be the ability to reverse time. I would save the city by working backwards and forwards through the timeline and the chain of causality events until I found the original catalyst event, and then I would kill in order to save lives if necessary.
There you go. Brett's an X-Bot. That's Quantum Break.
It's Quantum Break.
So essentially, so what you've kind of explained is the story to Looper.
I mean, it's also the story to Infamous.
Yes.
So it seems like a sound logical thing, and you know, if you just wake up and everything's in chaos, you're not going to be like, oh, I need to go talk to this person. You're gonna have no idea what to do, and there's going to be a marginal amount of fuck ups in there. So, the ability to reverse time would be helpful. So if you're like, fuck, I got shot in the kidney, you just kind of reverse time. Yeah. And that way you could start at point A over here and work forward until you get the name of somebody over here, and then you go talk to that dude 2 days before the thing happened, and then you work forward through the event again. You keep seesawing until you find that one linchpin event, and then just fucking run out there and kick that person in the balls or throw them in front of a bus and be like, done.
I call that time Shenmue.
Time Shenmue.
Yeah. I'm looking for sailors. God damn it! I fucked up the quick time event.
Yeah, okay, it is pretty much every gamer's quick save cheating superpower. And y'all know that you can move mountains with that fucking ability.
See, the problem with this question is you have to save the city, because I'm like, can I have the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns and just blow up the city? Because that'll just get rid of everything. Like, I saved the city by, I guess.
So it's nice to meet you,
Dr. Manhattan. I want to be Dr. Manhattan, but I can't do that. So I guess I'll just, since Brett took the most awesomest answer, I guess I'll go with, like, super strength. So I could just beat the shit out of people and eventually work my way towards the main guy. And, yeah, I'll kill everybody that I have to. No problem. I'm super powerful now. I'm above people now.
It doesn't matter. I'm better than them.
Exactly. Your morals don't belong to me now. They have nothing to do with me. I'm above you puny people. I'm strong. I'm the Hulk, bitch. Now, here's my question. Does super strength also come with super invulnerability? Because that's the problem right there. What if I'm not super invulnerable? I get shot and I'm dead.
Is it just one superpower? Can you be like, I just want Superman's ability?
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Because I think the question is one power. So I'm like, because my answer would be, I want to be Superman. That's what I want to do. But I would be Red Sun Superman. I would just kill a whole bunch of people. Fuck that. So yeah, that's my cheap answer. Super strength, so I could just punch people's heads off, and hopefully I'll find the guy.
You know what could stop that, Tony?
What?
One time-traveling baby-stomping renegade.
That's true.
So,
or maybe super speed would be good too. You just go around the city, just punching everyone, so you and hopefully hit the right guy. Just stop it all. I don't know. Go ahead, Manny.
For me, I would like the super science ability, so that way I could have all the powers. See, if I can't go through time, I can invent a way through time.
Oh,
Yeah,
see, that's like wishing for more wishes. That's a clever.
I like that. I like that.
That's the super science ability. That's right there. I could have an awesome super-powered armor. I could also fly.
Manny, would you say that you would be tapped into the great intelligence?
I would be tapped into the great intelligence.
Oh my god.
You could be like the leader with a huge brain and stuff, and all the pulsate.
No, I don't want that. I don't want a leader brain. Because a leader brain looks stupid.
My mind.
But you'd have like the guy.
You could find a way to deal with the immense swelling in your frontal lobe.
Yeah, see, I could use my super science ability to make some sort of like head covering that looks that's like the TARDIS, where it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Go ahead, Chris. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, like, if you got super science abilities that morning, you'd still have to build all the shit you need. The city might just burn while you're trying to invent a time machine or a suit of armor.
See, what I would have to do is I'd have to think of smaller solutions and then work up to the big solutions.
I have a different answer if I'm allowed to use it.
Yeah, sure.
Can I create some sort of sleeping mist? So I can just go sleep, and then the whole city just falls asleep. There you go. I saved the city.
So essentially, so Dark City. You want to create a world like Dark City where you're like.
What happens to the people in the burning buildings, Tony?
They're all sleeping.
They won't know.
They're gonna cook.
They're all asleep.
I can see Tony everybody sleep, and then a cacophony of traffic horns as everybody simultaneously wrecks their car.
Oh, Brett, I'm gonna make it even better. It's not gonna be It's not gonna be a sleep mist. It's gonna be a sleep bubble. So any planes that are above me.
Yeah, I was gonna say planes come crashing down, smashing into suburban subdivisions.
And then when everybody wakes up, whoever instigated, it's yo, there's some crazy dude in the city. I'm not fucking around anymore. I'm gone. I'm going to scare them, even though I probably would indirectly cause the deaths of hundreds of people, maybe thousands. Oh, well.
Yeah, you would invent a tragedy. The only actual thing you would solve would be, people being mad about it.
Yeah, you know what I just did? Essentially, it's hey, my finger itches. Okay, let's chop your fucking arm off. Your finger doesn't itch anymore, does it?
Damn.
Well, we lost all semblance of power structure and all of our basic infrastructure. The death toll is immeasurable, but we all feel well rested and we don't remember what happened.
It's like Ozymandias. I created a worse problem, but I solved the previous one.
I think that might be the best answer just because of its nature.
Yes. Yeah. All of my answers are all destructive. I remember one time, I forgot they were doing promotion for a movie, I think it may have been Chronicle actually, which is ironic enough with Fantastic Four being shitty. So it was at Comic-Con. They asked me if you had a superpower, what would you do? And the first thing that came to my head was I'll blow up the entire planet. This is how I think. All right, Chris, what's your answer?
I'd be just give me ultimate mind powers. Give me telekinesis, reading minds, scanner abilities, whatever. I'd just reach out across the city and be okay, everybody stop driving, stop panicking, whatever, and then I'd find the asshole who started this, blow his fucking head off, and that's it.
Yes.
Go make eggs.
Vindictive Charles Xavier.
Yeah, I would just reach my mind out. I'd be all right, who's the motherfucker? You, kablamo. Okay, done. I'd be everybody calm the fuck down.
My mind.
I got a second answer.
Go ahead.
What about the ability to affect probability?
Ooh.
There's two kinds of
that. I like that.
You have the long shot kind of thing where you're just immeasurably lucky, and so you just take that power, walk outside, trip over a newspaper that says the blatant answer, huck it through a window, accidentally hit the button to a machine that saves the city, and you're boom, done! I'm going to buy a bunch of lottery tickets now. Or and I forget what show was this was even on, the ability to be like, okay, flick a penny into a wall, watch it ricochet, hit a guy in the face, like a beam falls down, stabs him through the face, an ambulance flips over 9 times, catches a building on fire that explodes a bridge and solves all your fucking problems.
Whoa.
Like, the idea that you could, like, look at, like, all the infinite probabilities and then trace it back to one pinpoint event and then trigger that event, leading to a causality chain reaction event.
We'll call you Penny Pincher.
No, again, damn, Greg, you're an expert, man. That's you want the superpower of the cloud. Then that would give you the ability to calculate all this stuff in your mind.
That's what I'm saying. It's all about the cloud.
Oh man! All right. Last question from Mr. Torrance. Phew, boy. If you could speak your mind about anyone that works at a gaming site right now, what would you say? Torrance is trying to get us in trouble, man.
I believe I can speak my mind.
Brett, you can. I can't. Shit.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Hey, Tony, say something that's going to get you in trouble.
Fuck, man. It's like...
He can't... The one thing about Tony is that he can't do that stuff on command.
Oh, you mean get me in trouble overall? Oh, yeah, no, I could say something right now, some crazy racist shit. No, I can't burn any bridges. I trust me. There's people that are working in this industry right now that I will say some shit about. I mean, that I haven't already. Like, I've called out Luke Plunkett plenty of times. Fuck that guy.
And Adam Sessler.
And him too. Fuck him too. He's never going to be on our show, so fuck him. But no, I'm talking about some people that I know. Tony's not saying shit. Remember what Manny did with Rob Liefeld? I'm doing that this week. I'm not saying nothing.
You're going to plead what is it? Professional courtesy. There we go.
Plead the fifth.
Professional courtesy.
I'm not saying shit, but I have shit to say. All right, Manny, go ahead, Manny.
As far as people in the industry, I mean, whatever. They're kind of just like, as much as they're there to kind of push this stuff out there, I really don't care about any of them. As much as they say all over the internet or stuff like that, I don't care.
So nothing to say about these guys. If you can speak your mind about anyone.
I don't know. I just don't care about it. To me, they're a non-issue. That's it.
They are beneath you.
They're beneath my mental abilities.
Yes.
My super science.
All right, Chris. I know you got some heat, man. I know you got some.
Well, it's mostly directed at Polygon, and it's mostly about stop being fucking pussies and stop fucking getting on soapboxes and being everyone's dad and telling people what they can like and can't like and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. That's not your fucking job. Your fucking job is to report the news. If you have opinions, it's fine. But don't get up and go, oh, this is disgusting. Oh, characters shouldn't dress like this. Oh, I'm offended by this. Fuck you. You don't get paid to be offended. Nobody has to cater to you. Don't get off your fucking soapbox and do your job. You know what? And when you go to an event that is for a game, don't talk about fucking the geopolitical issues in another country. Why don't you play the fucking game?
Yes. Get those hipsters out of gaming, as you say, man.
Yeah, those hipster fucks out of gaming.
Yeah, that shit. All right.
Journalism.
Brett, go ahead, man.
I have to agree with Chris, and I have to throw Kotaku on that list as well. You are modern-day McCarthy, and fuck you, you should be ashamed. I'm sorry, just this idea of like, who the fuck made you a moral authority, and what are your qualifications? If you're gonna sit there on your fucking ivory tower and shoot your slings and arrows down at everybody else, then you should have the right to have your personal life and your professional life opened up for, intense criticism. Because unless you are immune from these fucking things yourself, you have no right to tell me how I feel or how I should feel. And that makes me particularly upset as somebody who does have a strong moral compass, who does have a strong set of ethics, and who has been fucked over multiple fucking times for it, and yet who still has to sit there and take your looking down your fucking nose at me kind of attitude as you preach to me about ethics and values and the moral majority that exists in fucking video games. Well, you yourself fall prey to the age-old rape whistle dilemma. Like, you are profiteering at the end of the day off of fanning the fires of just shit that has gone awry. And you're not trying to solve it, you're just trying to fan the flames. So you're not doing anybody any favors. So to a certain extent, by extrapolation, I can say, fuck you for the disservice you do to the victims in watering down their message. So not only fuck you from my end, but fuck you from the other end. Fuck you this way, fuck you that way, the way you came in, the way you're going out, and the goddamn horse you rode in on.
Yeah, that deserves that. Fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
Makes me think of that one intro to the Tools, to that one Tool song. Fuck you, you stupid bastard.
Yeah. Fuck your mother. Yeah, that
Fuck your
Italian
mother.
Pezzo di merda. Oh man. All right. Moving on. Thank you, Torrance, for I especially like the superhero one. That was awesome. All right.
Mr. Davis with the magic.
We may see Mr. Davis again soon. All right. Moving on here. Mr. Phantom Vash. Okay, so it's been, going back to what we talked about before, it's been over 5 years since Red Dead Redemption was released. When do you think Rockstar will be releasing the next game in the series? Whenever they want. This is Rockstar, dude.
Listen, Red Dead will come out and you won't even know it. You won't even hear it. It'll just be like, bam, there, done.
They got Red Dead in this motherfucker?
Yeah.
But you won't even know, but it'll come.
But you won't be playing John Marston.
Yeah, they'll release it when it's ready, and also they don't have the impetus to like push it out right away. Look how well GTA 5 is doing for them.
Still doing.
Still doing, like the online and all the in-game transactions, all that stuff. They're making money.
But as you can see, there are the makings for a Red Dead game in there.
Oh yeah, that's true, man. You go to the northern part, it's like, Red Dead.
You can't jump on a horse though.
No, dude, I'm telling you, man. When I was just in the woods and I heard a cougar, I'm like, oh, I got that Red Dead feeling. Like, oh shit, I'm about to die. I was like, oh, wait, I got an AK-47.
Did you guys see the predecessor to GTA Online that was Red Dead Redemption multiplayer?
Oh yeah, we played that. That was great.
Yeah, but notice the marked similarities. Like that was clearly kind of a beta for the technology that they used to make GTA Online run well.
Oh,
and so
sure,
I
dude.
fully expect some sort of Red Dead Redemption Online, and I will play the fuck out of that.
Dude, you're right, because think about it, Red Dead Redemption. It was like, hey, multiplayer, here's the entire map.
Here's the entire map. We can fit 16 people in it. You can freely roam around, band up, do missions, do whatever you see fit. It had all of the same elements. It just wasn't as refined.
Yeah, dude. Okay. Now, hold on. I gotta calm myself down now. I'm thinking about current gen Red Dead Online. That'd be fucking crazy, dude. Imagine you get on, with your posse and the horses and you start raiding towns and stuff. Give me that, man.
Also, the size of the map they'll be able to use now.
And it fits more in line. Like, when everybody gets on GTA, they turn into fucking Trevor, right? And that kind of makes sense, but then you're like, there's a whole city of maniacs just running around here. Well, that makes sense in a Wild West setting. There's roving bandits. There's wild people. There's fucking sheriffs. There's all kinds of people just roaming around out there.
What I'd love is if they did, the online system, but they did, like, thinking in Old West terms, like you could join a gang and you are definitely a part of a roaming gang, versus like, oh, you're the marshal of this town and you have to stay in a certain area and maybe you have deputies and stuff, and that's how they split everything. It's the marshalist gang. It's like OK Corral. You're like Wyatt Earp and his boys versus the Sultans. Like that kind of stuff would be awesome. And you have territories, like, this is my territory, don't come fuck with me. And then the gang's like, fuck you, we're coming into your town.
We're taking over this town.
I'd like to see you be able to go out and like buy plots and then have a multi-tier upgradable kind of fortress or something like that. So if you put enough, fucking gold or silver or what into it, you can have like, a little wooden wall where you can stand. And I'd like to see them take away the instancing of housing so that you could actually have a place that a roving band of bandits could come and attack, kind of deal.
Yeah, I want to see like other stuff that they kind of left out of this game. This game could be huge. Like, put Native Americans in there. Maybe you could be part of a tribe or something too. You could play from that aspect, right? Or you could play like a Civil War guy. Like you have like those type of weapons, like you're a Union soldier or something, or maybe an old Union soldier, or Randy's favorite, let's be unforgiven. You came on my farm and killed my family, then you go gun down to revenge, you know.
It's funny. It's funny. All those things that you're saying are literally the archetypes you play in the original Red Dead Revolver. You play you play kind of a normal cowboy, then you play like a Union soldier, you play a Union soldier, you play a Native American, you play like an Annie Oaks type of character, and then you play like some sort of crazy gunslinger with a bowler.
Yeah, see, I'm channeling that old game, but all that stuff could be done on such an epic scale now, right? You could make those type of characters, and it would be great to see all that. Or you could be a merc like the Man with No Name. You're just like gun for hire. That'd be awesome to play like that archetype too.
Dude,
my mind's exploding.
Red Dead Redemption was to pop on a full server and then ride my donkey to the top of a mountain. Because there was global chat in that, so I would ride my donkey to the top of the mountain and position myself at night, mind you, between between whoever I was about to attack and the moon. Then I would just stand there and wait until in global they would look at me and be like, "Who the fuck is that?" Knowing full well that all they saw was a man sitting on a donkey silhouetted against a moon. And then I'd come riding down the mountainside and just murder everybody.
On a fucking donkey.
On a fucking donkey.
That's brilliant. So yes, Rockstar, give us another Red Dead, please, man, please. It's gonna be great. All right, next question. This is a interesting one, especially for you, Brett. With HTC's financial troubles as of late, do you think the Vive will be affected in any way? That is, their VR headset.
I haven't heard about their financial troubles. Can somebody catch me up?
I don't know too much about it either, but yeah, HTC, because they sell smartphones, right? And people buying Samsung phones, so they're not doing too well. But they're also, inventing another VR helmet. So,
Usually the money is separated enough in businesses that big that when one division suffers, it doesn't necessarily affect another division.
Oh, like Sony, right?
Yeah, like if Sony's TVs are selling, it doesn't really affect their PlayStation division. It does in an overall broader sense, but what you're seeing is probably the fallout from them not doing well financially right now would probably be folded into future projections for cost analysis. So you wouldn't see their budget cut for another 6 months kind of thing, and it would probably be a slow process. So if you bear that in mind with the fact that VR release is rapidly encroaching, they'll probably just keep the same amount of investment in there, and then if it doesn't see some kind of profitability after its release, they may scale back on future development with it. But it's pretty much a committed issue right now, and to bail out would cost them more money than to keep things going on track. And then if they did bail out, they would have to face the public knowledge of everybody knowing they're bailing out and everybody knowing that they're bailing out on the quote-unquote next big thing, which would scare off stockholders and make a market crash. So in every sense, it is financially and fiscally responsible for them to continue ahead with the Vive, as it were.
All right, I think that's probably the best answer you're going to get there. Very succinct. All right, and the last question, what are your thoughts on the announcements so far that have come out of Disney's D23 Expo? I like the Civil War stuff. That seemed pretty cool. They showed footage. We didn't get to see it, obviously, so we just had to read synopsis and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. I like the Doctor Strange stuff, too, how they're going to go really into the crazy other realms and stuff. I'm hoping it'll be like the Steve Ditko stuff on screen, all the weird dimensions and shit like that.
He goes into crossroads.
Yeah, like I want to see that sort of stuff, man. That'd be cool. And then have some Star Wars stuff. Not too much of anything that I got excited about, but I did like that one image they released of Rogue One, and I'm like, this is cool because it was like, I guess the best way to explain it is like the most kind of real, like, realistic looking Star Wars image you've seen in like since the last movies. No CG trickery. It was just people in a room full of fucking Star Wars junk. I'm like, that's cool. That reminds me of the old movies, so that's kind of nice. They're taking it back. And then they had some stuff for like Kingdom Hearts 3, I guess. I don't really care about Kingdom Hearts 3, so whatever. But yeah, the Civil War stuff, very excited about it. No footage yet, no Spider-Man at all. But I'm guessing you're probably going to see that later on when Star Wars actually does come out. They're going to stick Civil War on front of Star Wars. Did you guys see anything that caught your eye from D23?
Well, I was happy about
not really.
Too. Incredibles 2. Incredibles 2. I was excited for. I was like, finally, we're gonna get a sequel to this movie.
You mean a good Fantastic Four movie, right?
Fantastic Four movie, you know. And that gigantic movie, I was like, yeah, all right, you know, whatever. What did they put? They're putting Big Hero 6 in Kingdom Hearts 3 again. I'm lukewarm about Kingdom Hearts, so
yeah, whatever.
And that's about all I got out of it. And they're gonna expand the parks like Star Tours and all that.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a Star Wars park now, or a theme park or whatever. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty cool.
You go to the cantina.
Yes.
You know how many drunken nerds they would have to throw out of there?
Dude.
Disney doesn't serve liquor, by the way.
Oh, they fucked up.
Or one of them does.
No, that's if you're going to the Pleasure Island area. But that's not actually like a Disney park anymore.
Huh.
That's like downtown Disney. They serve beer and all that other shit. But
yeah, you're outside the park.
But yeah, anytime when you're inside of the park, they don't serve any liquor. Because I went to this, which was Gaston's pub. You know, the Gaston from what is it?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, and he has his own little pub there, and they serve like a fake beer, which is just apple cider.
Oh, it wasn't O'Doul's or that bullshit.
No. It's not. It's their own. It's their. They call it. What was it? Gaston's Brew or something like that, and it's just some apple drink with some foam on the top. But man, the freaking beef, the pork thing in there was really awesome. But anyway, yes, they don't serve any. They don't serve.
Did you see anything cool from D23?
No, I haven't even been paying attention, man. I've been just working and playing video games. So I mean, I did pop in, you know, once or twice. I saw the Drew Struzan, promotional poster for it, you know, and I saw a couple of other things here and there. I did see Black Panther, you know, like from the set, but that's not from D23.
Yeah, that was before. By the way, I can't believe, I mean, I talked to you about this morning. I can't believe some idiots were like, oh, look at that. That poster is so Photoshop. It's fake. I'm like, it's fucking Drew Struzan. What the hell is wrong with you people?
No, he painted that shit. No, well, he doesn't actually paint it. It's kind of a combination. It's like a mixed media sort of thing that he does. But, yeah, it's all illustrated by him. He's just an amazing artist. Shut the fuck up.
All right, Brett, did you see anything from D23?
No, I keep forgetting that Disney's actually relevant now.
Yeah, Marvel and fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting that. So I'm like, Disney conference? No, I care about the Disney conference. Someone's like Marvel and Star Wars. Is like, oh yeah.
Here's the thing, with all this talk of things that are not officially Disney stuff, that just properties that they own, was there any actual Disney stuff in there?
I don't know. That's a good question.
You know, where's our new Mickey? Well, let's talk a little bit about some Mickey Mouse. You know.
Yeah, I know there's like a new Lion King animated series coming. Like.
Oh, that actually looked cool. Like
yeah,
that,
like,
I didn't have a problem. Like, that looked nice. It kind of looks like that how they're doing that Jake and the Neverland Pirates. It's like that. The Flash is really good. I was like, oh shit, that's Flash. Like these guys are really doing it right. Like, you know.
Oh shit, I didn't know that was Flash. I was like, that animation is nice, man.
Yeah, they do some pretty good stuff with as far as like Flash animation. Well, in general, Flash animation is looking a lot better than it used to.
I will say though, I was kind of slightly disappointed with D23. I was expecting more bombs to drop because I wanted to see fucking Spider-Man. That didn't happen. I mean, it was good. You know, Civil War and Doctor Strange. That's probably the most exciting one. But the thing is, the movie hasn't started filming yet, so they didn't have any actual footage to show anyone. It was just concept stuff. But seems like they're going in the right direction. They even had a video from Cumberbatch. He was like, "Oh yes, I am Doctor Strange."
I am Doctor Strange.
Pretty cool stuff.
My world is fire.
No, that's Khan. He can't do it. Or that's Smog.
That's Smog.
Khan Smog Strange?
No, he has to be more like Sherlock, who's playing Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Yeah, right. All right, next question from Michael. You know, Mike Madden.
Mr. Madden.
Mr. Madden, all right. Why do some think it was a great time for Microsoft to lose the exclusive deal for Call of Duty? Microsoft is getting killed in sales. Black Ops is COD's biggest franchise, and Sony has had a deal with other big FPS Battlefront. I heard the excuse that MS wants to focus on Halo, but there have been 3 Halo games released while Microsoft has had the exclusive deal. Yeah, if anybody honestly thinks it's a bad deal for Microsoft to lose Call of Duty, yeah, it's like, dude, it's a big fucking deal. It's like, that's what propelled Microsoft to be superstars last generation when they had that Call of Duty deal. Now Sony has the deal. This is why I'm saying, and I keep saying it in every podcast, I'll say it again. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But even if they break out even, it's still win. Sony's going to take this holiday season. I think Call of Duty and that Star Wars bundle that was just announced and the fucking Destiny. And yes, even though it's not coming out to America, that Metal Gear one, 4 of those, it's going to put Sony over the top.
4 fucking special consoles spread out through the world. That's some pretty crazy shit.
Yeah, and for heavy-duty games. You know, so yeah, like if you honestly think this was like a good thing for Microsoft to lose Call of Duty, that's fucking crazy. The only reason you could say that's like Call of Duty has been slipping sales, but then Advanced Warfare came out last year and it blew up. So, you know, and then like you said, Black Ops is the biggest Call of Duty franchise out there. And it's on Sony. Sony's pushing the shit out of this. Think about it. They're having a fucking beta for Call of Duty. That's never happened before. They want this shit in people's hands. It's going to be monstrous. It's going to, you know, people are underestimating it, but watch, it's going to be huge. So I don't know who would honestly, unless you're a fucking fanboy, that's the only way you could be, oh yeah, this is a good thing they lost Call of Duty. You can't say that shit. And yeah,
No.
and then because, they have Halos, like, but they had Halo before and they still had Call of Duty. That can't be it. You know, that's like going, oh yeah, we got Killer Instincts. Like, Killer Instinct, dude, come on, you need Street Fighter as well. It's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Call of Duty is still coming out on Xbox, but Manny, we have experienced many times at GameStop.
We call this the stupid people deal. Where essentially just people just automatically think for some reason that these games are just only coming out on one console, which is silly.
But it works. These companies know it works. I mean, last generation it was like, oh man, I wish I could play Call of Duty on PlayStation.
I'm gonna tell you guys another thing. The Metal Gear that's gonna be on PlayStation 4 is gonna do better than the one that's on Xbox One.
Oh yeah, that was what I was saying. I mean,
but in general, just based on the fact that it's kind of considered a PlayStation property, that happened before too. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, okay, even if you take the bundle away, it would still sell better on PlayStation. You toss in the bundle, because again, remember, you can't just see it as an American thing. You got to see it as a whole wide world thing. Mm-hmm. That bundle is going to sell a lot of fucking consoles. So you have that. You have the Taken King, which is going to be big for Destiny. Star Wars, which is announced. Call of Duty didn't get announced yet, but you know that bundle is coming too. Trust me, this is going to be a huge year. And like I said, even if Sony matches Microsoft's sales this a fucking winter, it's still a win for them because everybody thought they were going to get destroyed. I know people think I'm crazy and I'm being a fanboy, but there's actual fucking facts in front of you. You have to see the entire picture. You know, it's not just Halo.
No, it is Halo. It's only Halo.
You know, it's like Halo. Let's just be honest. Halo's the only one because you have Forza's a racing game. That's not gonna push systems like that. Tomb Raider. That's coming out when Fallout comes out. Are you fucking kidding me? Who's gonna buy Tomb Raider? They're gonna buy Fallout.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, so no, I'm sorry. Microsoft, they're gonna do well this holiday season, obviously, but you know, because they have more exclusive, but Sony has more fucking bundles and third-party deals. Sony's gonna crush it. I'm saying it right now. All right, anybody else want to jump on this? Chris, I know you probably got some thoughts.
Just to add to that, I mean, we talked earlier at this show how much of our library is full of multiplats. And you brought up that the excellent point is that when you have the strategy and the marketing behind one system, that people just think that multiplat is available for that system. So Call of Duty is going to sell big for PS3. You know, Destiny's already selling big. PS4, Destiny, you know, all that stuff. So that's huge. You can't ignore that. You can't say like it's a good thing because we have Halo. It's like, yeah, but like you said, there's been Halo before. There was Reach before, whatever. But Microsoft had Call of Duty locked up. And they won on that multiplat. Call of Duty always historically has sold more on Xbox than PlayStation. That's going to flip now.
Exactly. Again, it goes back to the other question we were asked. Yes, the roles have been reversed this generation. The only difference is this. and I need people to understand this. Okay, when the PlayStation was selling for $500, it was still outselling Xbox. The only thing is Xbox had a longer lead, you know? So it took them a while to catch up. That's not happening this generation. Microsoft, the Xbox is not even close to catching up. There are not more consoles being sold per month. So that's the only main difference. So Sony, yeah, I mean, if Microsoft doesn't completely blow them out of the water this holiday season, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Unless they do something drastic, like Sony goes out of business or something. I don't see it happening. The gap is just too big now. It's almost a PlayStation 2 era in that way. Nobody caught up to Sony. Nobody. You know? So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I want to see the comments when that shit happens, man. At the end of the year, oof, it's going to be fucking bloody. All right. Okay, the next question from Michael. What's the biggest factor of Sony getting so many third-party deals, money or market share? Both.
I think it's market share, yeah.
Market share probably, but I'm going to go with both. But yeah, market share, they want that, again, that whole thing like, hey, this is on Sony. That they want that whole deal out there. I think that's more important because of that, money will come in.
Yeah, they're both related. I mean, if one system has more market share, which clearly now it's PS4 has more market share, you know, that's where the money is, right? You know you're going to sell well. I mean, these guys calculate a lot of stuff. Like I always make fun of marketing people. They always calculate what percentage they think of systems they're going to sell on, right? If you have 40% of 24 million consoles in the wild versus 40% of 13 million, guess what? They're going to go with the 40% of 24 million, right?
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Is the number, right? Market share. So.
Yeah, market share is definitely more important. All right. Hey, Brett, are you back yet?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because you're just your little blue icon thingy. What do you have to say about this?
Which question are we on?
About the market share.
Yeah, definitely market share. Market share equals future potential money. You have a lot of money that you can throw around, and you'll see that on things like what games get PlayStation Plus and that kind of stuff. But no, it's potential for sales is always going to drive more than cash up front.
Yep. Basically, all right. And the last question from my man Killax. Why do you think Sony put in more work and art on third-party bundles, but their exclusive games have been having plain-looking bundles? That's a good question. It's like,
why didn't the Order have a fancy special console?
Yeah, or Bloodborne. I don't think that had one either, didn't it?
I don't know. Maybe it did.
I don't think Bloodborne had a bundle.
It didn't, right? What about in the fall? Like, do they have anything for Persona or anything like that coming out?
Persona's not a Sony game.
No, but it's exclusive to Sony. Understand?
No, I don't think. I mean, in Japan, I'm sure it'll have one, but I don't think it'll.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right about it. That's a good question. I guess because since you made these deals with third parties and stuff, they want you to put an extra effort into it. That's probably why.
And here's the thing: it's not that much more trouble to print out an additional casing for it. You know what I mean?
Think about it. There's nothing special about the actual console. It's the same exact thing. There's no difference about it.
I mean, people do these things all the time by modding them. They just pull the damn plastic off the top and then they put another one on there. So it's not that difficult to do.
I'd say the only exception to that was the anniversary edition PlayStation 4.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only exception.
Yeah, that's true.
Are we really asking the question of why does Sony put more marketing money into something they have to compete with versus something that they already hold the market share on?
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's probably the answer right there. Why do you need a special edition of like Bloodborne when you have nothing else to compete against? Right?
Yeah, like you don't have to make your Bloodborne bundle seem better because there is no other Bloodborne bundle.
Yeah. Meanwhile, with Call of Duty, it's like, hey, buy ours, man. Look at the sleek PlayStation 4 you get with it. You get a sleek Xbox. You don't get a sleek Xbox.
When you're selling the Call of Duty bundle, you're playing to Call of Duty players, and Call of Duty players don't have a console that they're pandering to, so it's a completely different thing. Like, honestly, I don't think you see a whole lot of like Bloodborne bundles because it's the people who want to play Bloodborne are going to buy the console to play Bloodborne. You don't have to add these flashy things in there, like. It's like going to buy like a good car. Like you don't need them to throw in a $100 Visa credit card if you're buying a good product for a good price. Like that is the thing. I'm here for, if I'm buying a Land Rover, I'm not buying it because, it comes with fuzzy dice that go in the mirror. I'm buying it because it's a goddamn Land Rover and nothing's going to kill it.
That's a good point there. I think we answered that question pretty well. All right, so damn, we did a good job. 24 questions in under 2 hours. Fucking badass.
Bam.
Like pros.
Like pros, exactly. All right, before we wrap up, a couple of things. So yes, episode 50 / the 1 year anniversary of both Throwdown and Throwing Questions is coming, people. So you know what that means. Special guests and giveaways. So that will happen on, I will give you the exact date now. So very first week of September, September 3rd. That's when that's going to happen. So prepare for awesomeness. We're still working on the kinks, but we already got a good special guest secured. I may have given you a clue before. It'll be a good show, a lot of fun. And that's also the week Metal Gear comes out, so we shall see what happens.
We shall see.
Man. All right, yeah, that's pretty much it. Throwdown, I don't know what's going to happen this week. We'll figure something out. Gaming. All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure to follow The Coalition at thecoalition.com. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available down there. And remember, check out the Co-op podcast, which had me on it this week. I talked a lot of shit.
Yes. Which will probably lead to wonderfully more comments.
I love how, okay, I keep it real on Throwdown, but I do try to play it a little middle ground. On other podcasts, I'm like, no, fuck that. So I said some shit on Throwdown, on Co-op, so you'll see that. All right, so once again, I was
Tony Uncensored.
Yeah, keep more real, more raw, like Eddie Murphy. All right, once again, I was Tony Polanco, and I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
And then it shall be free.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, later, everyone.
And Brett Murdoch.
It's been real, people.
All right, guys. Throw it down. Coming Thursday. Later.
Later.
Laters.
See ya.